Hi friends, today is STEM Enrichment Day. Now STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And all those things happen when we build things together and we use our imagination and our problem-solving skills to create new things. Today's STEM enrichment activity is going to be based on the book, The Sandwich Swap. I'm going to read the sandwich swap, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to build today. Get your materials ready. Here we go. The Sandwich Swap by Kelly DiPuccio, illustrated by Trisha Tusa. It all began with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And it ended with a hummus sandwich. Selma and Lily were best friends at school. They drew pictures together. They played on the swings together. They jumped rope together. And they ate their lunches together. But just what they ate was a little different. Lily ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for lunch. Salma ate a hummus and pita sandwich every day for lunch. And although Lily never said it out loud, she thought Salma's sandwich looked weird and yucky. She felt terrible that her friend had to eat that icky chickpea paste every day. Ooh, yuck. Now that's not very nice to be making fun of somebody's sandwich. And although Selma never said it out loud, she thought Lily's sandwich looked strange and gross. She felt just awful that her friend had to eat that gooey peanut paste every day. Ooh, gross. They're not being very nice. Then one day, Lily just couldn't hold back those pesky thoughts any longer. Your sandwich looks kind of yucky, she blurted out. What did you say? Selma asked, thinking she must have misunderstood her friend. I said your sandwich looks yucky. Selma frowned. She looked down at the thin, soft bread, and she thought of her beautiful, smiling mother as she carefully cut Selma's sandwich into 2 neat halves that morning. Her hurt feelings turned mad. Yeah, well, your sandwich looks gross and it smells bad too, Selma stepped back. Lily looked surprised. She sniffed the thick, squishy bread and she thought of her dad in his silly apron whistling as he cut Lily's sandwich into 2 perfect triangles that morning. Lily scowled. It does not smell bad, does too. Ooh, yuck. For best friends, they're not being very nice to each other. That afternoon, the friends did not draw pictures together. They did not swing together. They did not jump rope together either. The next day, Selma ate her lunch at one table and Lily ate her lunch at another. Meanwhile, the peanut butter versus hummus story had spread and everyone began choosing sides. Each side had something not nice to say to the other. Pretty soon, the rude insults had nothing to do at all with peanut butter and hummus. You're weird. You're funny. Your dress is icky. And then it happened. Somebody yelled, uh-oh. Food fight! Look at that. Not good in the cafeteria. Peanut butter and hummus sandwiches and other favorites began flying back and forth between both sides of the lunchroom. They stuck to the walls, they stuck to the ceiling, they stuck to the lunch lady. When the sandwiches were all gone, pudding cups, applesauce, and carrot sticks took flight. Selma and Lily looked at one another from across the rowdy, splattered room. They both felt very ashamed of what they saw. They both felt really ashamed when the principal called them into her office after they had helped clean up the mess. Uh-oh. The following day, Selma ate her lunch down across from Lily's. The 2 girls nibbled on their sandwiches in silence. Finally, Lily got up the courage to speak. Would you like to try a bite of my peanut butter and jelly? Salma grinned. Sure, why not? Would you like to try my hummus and pita? Lily laughed. I'd like that. Now that's how friends act with each other. On the count of three, okay? On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Yum. Hey, this is delicious, and this is heavenly, the girls giggled and hugged and traded sandwiches. After lunch, Selma and Lily met with the principal again. This time, they were there to suggest a very special event for the whole school. A day where everybody got to try each other's foods. And that's how it all began, with peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and ended with a hummus and pita sandwich. The end. Now, my friends, today's story had to do with food that you eat in a cafeteria. Well, when you come to school every day, how do you bring your lunch? I usually bring my lunch in a lunchbox. Do you bring your lunch in a lunchbox to school? Have you ever thought that you could make a lunchbox? Well, if you had maybe a box you could cut up, or some cardboard, maybe some straws, you might even be able to use paper or pipe cleaners or even sticks. Could you put your materials together to create a lunchbox that had a handle and that opened and closed? Now, a box like this wouldn't be a lunchbox just if you open and close the flap. You'd have to do some things to the box. What could you do to a box like this? A lunchbox usually has a top, so it would open and close. It usually has a latch, so things don't fall out. Maybe a handle so that I could carry it. Now, if I don't have a box and I have pieces of a box, I could tape those pieces together. Tape is always the best thing when you're working with boxes and cardboard. Now, if I was going to use tape and tape two pieces together, I always say that 3 pieces of tape is the best thing, because 3 pieces allows you to put 1 on one end, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the other end, just like this. And then, oh, but it doesn't stand up. Guess what we have to do? We have to put 3 pieces of tape on the other end too, on the other side. So I'd put 1, I'm gonna rip my other 2 pieces. 1, 2, 3. Now it stands up. I could do that with some other sides. I could even use some construction paper to decorate it or put that on the top. Could you make a lunchbox today? And if you make a lunchbox while you're at home today, send me a picture. I would love to see it. Now today's lesson is over, but I will see you next week for STEM Enrichment.